Okay. Calling this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Are there any comments from public about closed session items? Okay, we will, I did take roll. We have one board member missing. Sorry about that, supporter's not here. Okay, we're adjourning to closed session. Regular meeting, 7:02. Okay, all board members are present. Student representatives Lexi Thor from Bear Creek, Margaret Machado from Tokay, and Celine Wong from Middle College. Mr. Nall, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
You bet. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, sir. In closed session, Mr. Nall motion, and Mr. Stroh second. The board approved the appointment of
Tanya
Arvello as elementary principal, effective date and location to be determined by the following vote of 7 yes and 0 no.
Mr. Knackstead, if I might, members of the board, because there is one elementary school site that doesn't currently have a principal, she will be assigned to Live Oak School.
Okay, thank you. Okay, in student matters, placement of non-public school students, Dr. Ball motion and Mrs. Alexander second, and the board approved the placement of new non-public school students numbers 46, 61, 54, 67, and 80 by the following vote of 7 yes, 0 no. With conference with legal counsel, we have anticipated litigation. Mr. Nall motion, Mr. Stroh second, and the board approved the claim number 644743 by the following vote of 7 yes, 0 no. At this moment, is with deep sadness that we share the loss of one of our employees, and I'm going to ask Mr. Young to pronounce the name for me so I don't butcher it, please.
It's Joseph Bacigalupi.
Bacigalupi. He was a campus security at Lawrence Elementary School, and he passed away October 12th. Joseph was actively engaged with the Lawrence community since the starting in December of 2020. So please join me for a moment of silence and condolence with his family and the staff at Lawrence Elementary. Thank you. Okay, we have recognitions. We have a proclamation for the National School Bus Safety Week of 2024. Annette Galindo, are you here?
Yes.
Join me at the podium, please. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me.
Okay, this is National School Bus Safety Week. Whereas the yellow school bus is among the most recognized icons of American schools and society, and whereas school bus drivers travel thousands of miles each school year, navigating rural roads, neighborhood streets, and multi-lane highways to deliver students to their schools and homes safely, and whereas school bus drivers meet higher qualifications, training, and testing standards than any other drivers on the road. And whereas National School Bus Safety Week, which dates back to 1966, recognizes the hard work and dedication of school transportation personnel, especially the many school bus drivers who ensure a safe journey each and every day. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lodi Unified Board of Education joins the nation in proclaiming the third full week in October as National School Bus Safety Week, and encourages all citizens to join us in recognizing the hard work and dedication of school transportation professionals, the excellent safety record of school bus drivers, the benefits of school bus driver training, the importance of students obeying safety rules at all times, and the need for heightened vigilance on the part of all vehicle drivers when in the vicinity of school buses. This is signed the 15th day of October by me and the Board of Education. And I might add, if I'm not wrong, I believe, you know how fire trucks go like crazy when they're going. they still stop for a school bus with red lights.
Yes, yes.
So, pretty important folks in there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a privilege to accept this award for our National School Bus Driver for Transportation, but all transportation department, because without them, we can't transfer our students to and from school. The wheels must go round and round.
Thank you. Okay, comments from our student reps. Lexi, what's going on at Bear Creek?
All right, President Knaxton, members of the board, Superintendent Young, good evening. I hope, actually, do you guys even get a break? 2-week break? I had a great 2-week break, let me just say that. Here are some things that are going on at the Creek. For student activities and programs, we have started our Bruin tutorial program where student volunteers tutor kids that are struggling in certain subjects or want the extra help. We have all subjects from math and English to electives like Spanish. This tutoring session takes place during our flex time, and it's aimed to help students achieve a better grade. For student government, I am so excited to announce our homecoming rally and dance theme for 2024. With these themes, we hope to create a vibrant school spirit. Our homecoming 2024 rally theme will be Beach Party. The interactive game that will be played is called Tube Bruins, where 2 teams will play against each other, trying to put one of their teammates in and out of 3 donut floaties before the other team. Our Spirit Week consists of America Monday, Team Beach Tuesday, which is bikers versus surfers, You Don't Go Here Wednesday, Jersey Thursday, and Floaty Friday, where students are able to bring floaties to class. This week, we've hidden rubber ducks all around campus for students to find, hopefully keeping them interactive and excited for our big dance this Saturday. This Friday will be our homecoming game, where we will be playing Franklin in hopes of a win. At halftime, our homecoming court will perform a 1.5-minute dance, and then the king and queen will be announced. On Saturday, we will have our homecoming dance, and our theme is Miami Lights. For performances, presentations, and events, our auditions for fall play have started, and I am excited to see what they have planned. Our speech and debate program has gone strong with 3 tournaments last quarter and a lot of overall wins. Our conflict mediation class held a You Are Never a Bother activity at lunchtime to show our students that they are never a bother. The suicide prevention program is aimed to show students that their feelings are always valid and that they always have support. Along with this, our Link Crew class gave presentations to freshman class about mental health and social media, reminding them that digital footprints follow you all throughout high school and that if they're struggling with mental health, they have resources. For academics, I would like to congratulate last week's staff members of the week, Mr. Juan Carlos Rangel, Mrs. Kathy Shelton, and Mrs. Londa Tum. Senor Rangel is a part of our amazing BC Spanish team. He helps teach AP Spanish along with Spanish 2, hoping to get his students to a fluent level and has an almost perfect pass rate on the AP exam. Mrs. Kathy has been a part of our BC community for many years. She works in attendance and interacts with students, parents, teachers, and staff on a daily basis. Mrs. Londa works alongside Ms. Kathy in attendance and is an amazing staff member that always greets you with a smile. We love to recognize our amazing staff members for going above and beyond for our students. Thank you for making our BC community so beautiful. Our fall sports are doing well. Our flag football team has a winning record and is currently placed second in lead. Senior Gabriela Orsi, our star receiver, is currently 8th in the nation for total touchdowns. Our water polo team moved up to TCAL this year, but still our girls have been resilient and are currently placed 3rd in league. Our girls volleyball team has battled many schools up to 5 full sets and will continue to finish the season strong. Our boys cross country team is also undefeated in league and our girls are 2-1. The runners are doing well with most boys placing top 10 in invitational meets. Our girls golf is also undefeated with a 9-0 record, and girls tennis has a 4-4 record and are working hard. Our number 1 player, junior Kiara Cool, is 7-1 in her league matches. Way to play for the Creek. Finally, for our upcoming events, we are planning a trunk or treat here at Bear Creek on Monday, October 28th. ASB and Link Crew are working hand in hand for this event, trying to plan the perfect community experience. This event is mainly for our feeder schools and to serve our community and with some family fun activities. We planned to include some BC clubs, leadership classes, and more. We love spooky season here at Bear Creek and can't wait to show you our spirit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, you didn't mention water polo.
I did mention water
Oh,
polo.
you did, I'm sorry.
You said that was third.
That's the time,
Yes,
third one,
they're
thank you.
third in league.
Okay, are you one of the tutors on the math and that?
Yes, I
Oh, very
am.
nice, good. You're very involved at Bear Creek, I understand. Right?
Yes, I love my
Every little
community.
thing, little
Yes.
clubs and all that.
Yes.
I get the news from somebody I know.
All right, Margaret. Okay.
Good evening, President Conexted, members of the board, Superintendent Young. At Tokay, for homecoming being at the end of the quarter really helped to increase school spirit and excitement as there were many fun things being done. In honor of homecoming week, we held lunch activities where we had games such as cup pong, cornhole, a push-up contest, pawing seniors and the principal, though conveniently Mr. Avalos was sick that day, and musical chairs in which many students participated and would connect with and meet new students. For the homecoming rally, it went amazing and it definitely succeeded in raising school spirit for the homecoming football game that night, or the next day, sorry. Students appreciated being chosen from the stands to make the games that much more chaotic and unpredictable, which of course made it much more fun. The homecoming parade was definitely stressful, but it was also immensely rewarding. Many clubs and sports participated in it and went all out on their trucks and outfits with many decorations and fun spirit wear. Students and staff watching helped to create an enjoyable atmosphere by waving to floats, saying hello, and cheering for everyone. At the football game against Franklin on October 4th, we had the local cheerleading team, the Colts, dance at halftime, which was an amazing performance and well received. We also had the Tiny Tiger program that our cheer team puts on perform. This is where young girls between the grades of TK and 8th grade have the opportunity to help our Lady Tigers in doing cheers and their halftime dance. This was a stellar performance, and seeing the cheerleaders interact and bond with the young girls on the track was definitely the best part of the evening. Our homecoming corps deserves to be recognized for their amazing cooperation in school activities and spirit wear, as well as being excellent examples of what Tokay is all about. For the boys, we had Michael Gilbert, Adrian Mendoza, who eventually won King, Jacob Norman, Anthony Panino, Jacob Ray, and Jeremiah Rodriguez. For the girls, we had Brooklyn Blankenship, Gabriela Gonzalez, Jaden Hires, who won Queen, yours truly, Margaret Machado, Jalissa Salazar, and Kayleen Tuavo. For football, it has been doing definitely well so far. At the homecoming game against Bear Creek, we won 47-6, and at the game against Franklin, we won 41-19. Flag football is undefeated in our league so far and has been killing it out in the field. We are very proud of them and hope to promote theirs and volleyball's games more to get the students to show their support of our Lady Tigers. Our varsity team for girls volleyball is also undefeated in league, and our JV and Frosh teams are also still doing great. And shout out to girls golf who had their senior night September 26th because I'm on girls golf, so I just want to shout them out. And then we are planning to get into the fall spirit and Halloween attitude by hosting a Halloween night at our school. This event will consist of food, games, and comfort. We plan to create a fun atmosphere by showing a cozy Halloween movie and encouraging people to come with their friends. We also aim to have a trunk or treat where clubs and or sports participate so that it helps to get Tokay more involved in our community and promotes the programs that Tokay has to offer. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Wayne Middle College.
Sorry, I'm just get this here. The month of September was an exciting. President Knackstead, members of the board, Superintendent Young. I would love to tell you everything we've done so far. I'm so excited. I almost forgot to say hi to you guys. Our MESA program took a group of students on a field trip to UOP last Friday to learn more about their CIP program, which is extremely informative, especially to all of our local students. They also got a surprise performance from a local rapper, which was interesting for all of them to see. They also took event signups officially and are getting ready to collect blueprints from our potential teams. Music Club is hosting a school-wide rap battle in the upcoming weeks, which is a first for our school. FEC Club has finally kicked off their annual stock market challenge for their members and are eager to see the results over the next few months. Red Cross is in the process of registering more students for their Volunteer Connection site to start getting more involved with community service in the club. Culture Club and Sports Club were able to host their semi-annual Greek Olympics successfully at the end of September, taking 16 teams throughout trials like wheelbarrow and potato sack race, tug of war, and other outdoor challenges. Culture Club is also in the midst of planning for their take on a Fear Factor event to take place closer towards Halloween. Art Club is currently collaborating with our yearbook team to push out a yearbook cover design contest, and yearbooks are now open for pre-order. Our Middle College Key Club board has also been hard at work to prepare for Fall Rally North this upcoming weekend at Six Flags, where Key Club members from all over Northern California will gather for a spirit rally and fun at the amusement park. As the holiday season is approaching, I know it doesn't feel like it with the weather we've been having lately, but fall is in fact upon us. PTSA has kicked off their annual Poinsettia fundraiser with a promise of pizza party to the highest selling Avid class. As far as student government, Club Fest was a huge success for us. All of the clubs were able to set up booths and clean up smoothly, making for a fun event which students, staff, and even children of staff were able to enjoy. We loved interacting with our teachers, and the clubs were all able to fundraise by selling snacks and goodies. Science Bowl in particular took an interesting fundraising approach by selling out of their handmade pet rocks with included adoption papers. It was really cute. As another shout out, Key Club's booth had their very own life-size inflatable bear, which was fun for most, but also mildly terrifying to some, particularly the little kids that came. Though any teeth-bearing or high-speed chases were all in good fun. During Club Fest, Culture Club was also able to hold their cultural fashion show successfully, with the theme this year being Miss Universe. We loved seeing everyone in their cultural attire walk the red carpet. Student government also officially welcomed our freshman senators after a lengthy selection process through a record number of applications this year. We have been in the process of planning for our school-wide spirit rally in November, as well as planning for a pie fundraiser to prepare for Thanksgiving. We're also looking forward to planning out our winter formal, raising money for this big event by hosting a week-long fundraiser at T4, a boba shop, this week. For some special student and staff accomplishments and recognitions, on Tuesday, September 10th, 4 of our students attended the HBCU recruitment fair hosted at Bear Creek High School, and 4 of our students, Cameron Morris, Josh Duke, Jalen McHenry, and Asada Ba, were accepted on the spot to Fisk University. As for our staff, I would like to extend a thank you to Mr. Heinrich for accompanying Mesa Club to their UOP field trip, and Mrs. Giannoni and Mrs. Ramirez for organizing and chaperoning the senior Avid field trip to UC Santa Cruz. For some co-curricular recognitions, Sean Vang, grade 10, won our Club Fest raffle hosted by student government, receiving a bunch of school supplies, school merch, and other goodies like a dragon-themed Lego set. Finally, I would like to shout out Ms. Campos and Mrs. Ramirez for being such good sports by participating in Culture Club versus Sports Club board's tug of war at the end of Greek Olympics, specifically Mrs. Ramirez for letting us dunk her and the rest of Sports Club board members in ice water. You guys really took one for the team there. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Mr. Young, you have a superintendent's report for us?
Yes, Mr. Knaxig, members of the board, just quickly want to let you know that this is National School Week and lunch week. And if you were to stop by Creekside School on the 18th between 10:35 a.m. and 12:55, you would be able to participate in their farm-to-table lunch, where students have an opportunity to try out local fruit, including apples, persimmons, pears, as well as vegetables, including cauliflower, cucumbers, and pumpkins. I'm not sure if they're going to eat the pumpkins or take them home. However, it's a great opportunity for our students to see the amazing agriculture in our area and enjoy this week. So I just want to make you aware of that, and I have nothing further. So with that, back to you, Mr. Knaxig.
Thank you. All right, we move on to comments from employee groups. If we have any in the house, each employee group representative shall limit their comments to 5 minutes. Anybody? LEA? Okay.
Good evening, President Knaxig, members of the board, Mr. Young, members of the cabinet. We're back after break. It was nice. It's always nice to have a 2-week break. It's very refreshing. Teachers are coming back and getting excited for the next push to the end of the semester for high school. But what I'm hearing from my elementary teachers is that they're concerned about how much they're being pulled out of their classroom. They're being pulled out of their classrooms to do SIPS training, to work with the core consultants, to work with the iReady consultants. And a lot of our teachers, especially those who are more veteran teachers, feel like they don't really get much out of the training, and they would rather be with their students. They think they would be more effective working in the classroom with their students rather than sitting in a training away from their students. And I understand the need for training, but I think there's got to be a balance here, especially for some of our teachers. For example, I spoke with a 6th grade teacher yesterday who has a gate class, and they're making her take SIPS training. Now SIPS, if you don't know, SIPS is a phonics based program for kids. It is meant as a supplementary remedial program. It is not a core curriculum. Why does a gate teacher who already has kids that are reading at or above grade level need to be pulled out of a classroom for SIPS training? That doesn't make any sense. It was very frustrating for this teacher, and I completely understood. It doesn't make sense. We need to apply the trainings when they are appropriate. Some of our teachers are veteran teachers who have been doing SIPs for years. Why do they have to be pulled out of their classroom to retake training when they're already competent? What is the use of that? And not only to talk about whenever a teacher's pulled out, of course we have to have a substitute. And for years we've had issues with getting substitutes. Those substitutes are going to get paid, right? So again, we're wasting district money on training that is not useful for the teacher, and for a substitute that is in a classroom, for a teacher who is not ill, that's where we need the substitute. So we really need to rethink how these trainings are being done. We need to think about who's going to these trainings. Why does a gate teacher need to go to a training for a remedial phonics program? Or for that matter, they're being pulled into some training for another remedial math program. Gate children. Doesn't make sense. This is a person who would rather be in their classroom. So we need to have some better rhyme and reason as to why we are pulling teachers out of the classrooms. I am also, I know that there are some things that need to be bargained. We're trying to work with getting bargaining dates. And I'm not sure where that is. My bargaining chair says that he has not heard from the district from an email that he sent before, so I'll have to follow up on that because I'm not sure what's going on there. But yes, we are anxious to bargain a new contract and also to clear up issues that are on the contract that we thought we bargained last year as well. Thank you.
Any other groups? Okay, thank you. Okay, moving to public comment time. Yeah, you can clarify.
Members of the board, I just wanted to clarify a statement. I last heard from the Leah bargaining chair, who shared with me that he would be providing dates that they were available before our break. So,
Thank you.
I'm waiting.
Okay, moving on to public comments. A 20-minute time period has been set aside for public to address the board items not listed on the agenda. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes, and the board cannot engage in dialogue about public comments because of restrictions placed by the California Brown Act. So, is there any public comments? Wait, never mind, I got it. Anna Garcia. Didn't see the fishbowl. Thank you.
I always feel like when I put something in there, I should get a prize. Take a ticket, leave a ticket. Hi, Ansuela Garcia, Julia Morgan Elementary. First, I want to thank Mr. Young. The teachers were looking for a calendar so they can plan their lives, and I couldn't find it, and no one could find it. And Mr. Young emailed me the calendar for next year, like the broad start dates, stop dates, things like that. So the teachers were really appreciative of that, so thank you. I just wanted to give you a little Julia Morgan update. Julia Morgan is getting ready for, we're going to have a secret spirit day. Don't tell anyone. The staff is doing it. We're not telling the kids. We're going to see if they notice. So, because we work really hard all the time. We work hard during the day. We have meetings after school, and so we're trying to put some fun into our day that is extra fun. I mean, being with kids is fun, but sometimes you're just working really hard. So we're going to have a secret spirit day. Don't tell the kids. We have our Julia Morgan Trunk or Treat Night coming up. We have our annual pumpkin painting party, which I started when my daughter was in kindergarten, and she's 26, and so it's a school-wide event, all the kids participate. Kindergarten has Pumpkin Day, we'll have a Veterans Day celebration, we'll do a balloon over Broadway parade. We have a staff inflatable race, we did that for the first time last year, and that was hilarious. And I'm telling you these things because we're gonna send you invitations so that you can come. And you can bring your own inflatable, and you could be in the race. And there might be a prize, it's like a sporting event, so you should come. You could run.
Good.
Be great. You could do football. We'd be great. In January, we celebrate Julia Morgan's birthday, which is January 20th, and we have a Julia Morgan masked reader where a different person, actually I think they're gonna we're really into inflatables. They're gonna wear an inflatable and read, and the kids have to guess who it is. And then we have a Julia Morgan read-in where it's our 3rd annual, and because we used to be part of Rotary, and then sometimes we say hit and miss with Rotary, so we started our own, and we invite people to come and read with our students, and that's always a big success. And then that night we have bingo for books, where we play bingo and the kids win books, and we have Julia Morgan birthday cake. And those are great things that are happening at Julia Morgan. So we invite you to come and see us, and you can visit my classroom and bring good shoes for running and get your hands dirty, and we hope that you will come to Julia Morgan. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to consent agenda A then. At this time, the public may address the board on consent agenda A, which is just routine business. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Is there anybody that would like to comment on consent agenda A? Board, is there any
President Conexta, I'd like to pull 2 items.
who's talking?
Oh, sorry, Edith.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm sorry, I need to pull item
There's a
A15
volume
and
voice around
A16
Okay.
for resolution corrections. A15 and A16.
15, 16. Okay. Board, is there any other?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the rest of routine agenda A.
Okay. We have first and second. Need a board vote. Electronic? Yes. Oh, student vote while we're doing that.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Okay.
Oh, you got it. All right.
Her computer's not active.
Thank you. Virus.
Thank you. It happened. I hope so. Thank you.
Okay, we pulled up, we pulled 15 and 16?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and that passes 7-0. Okay, so item 15 was pulled. Who pulled that?
15 and 16.
Oh, yeah, you did. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
clarification. So the
Thank you.
CalSHEC grant is for assessing HVAC units, replacing filters, and replacing thermostats. So in both of the resolutions where it states replace all HVAC units, you need to do a find and replace with
Okay.
assessment, filter, and thermostat replacement.
So find and replace, not it. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have first and second on A15. Mrs. Farland and Dr. Ball.
Thank
In that order. Okay, student vote
Aye. Aye. Aye.
and board vote. Okay, that passes 7-0. And A16. Again,
Same thing,
Okay.
CalSHAPE grant,
Okay,
not replacement of units, assessment, filters, and thermostats.
okay.
Motion to approve at 16.
Okay, Mrs. McFarland and Mr. Nava. Mrs. McFarland, Mr. Nava. Vote to approve, motion to approve. Student vote.
Aye.
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 And board vote. Okay, everybody agrees, 7-0. Okay, oops. Okay, we already did that one. Okay, public comments on consent agenda B, which is student discipline cases. The public may address the board on consent agenda B, student matters. Each public shall limit each public speaker shall limit comments to 3 minutes, and then please refer to student numbers only if you need it. Okay.
Chairman, I move that we approve routine agenda B. I second.
All right. So, okay, students, you don't get to vote on student matters, so board vote. Consent agenda B passes 7-0. All right, moving on to other action items. Other action item number 1 is a ratification of the memorandum of understanding with the California School Employees Association, payroll department restructure. Mrs. Church.
President Conexon, members of the board, the next 2 items are the MOUs for the restructuring of payroll and M&O.
Okay. Any public comments?
Motion approved.
Second.
Board, student comments? Okay, we have first and second then. Is this A1 and 2?
I can only vote on.
Yeah, you need to take each item
Okay,
separately.
okay, the O1, action item number 1 only then. Okay, board vote. Okay, passes 7-0. All right, moving on to other action item number 2. Again, Mrs. Church.
Before you is the same, the restructuring, this one would be the maintenance and operations department.
Any public comments? Student comments? Board comments?
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Student vote.
Aye.
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 And board vote. And other action item number 2 passes 7-0. Okay, moving on to our report items. First one is informational review of homeless and foster youth programs in the Lodi Unified School District. Mr. Warren.
Yes, President Conexted, members of the board, Mr. Young. I'd like to introduce Ben Rector. He's our program coordinator for child welfare and attendance and foster youth district liaison, and also Kelly Collins, program coordinator over Area 1 and homeless district liaison. And I'm sorry.
Andrea Tate.
Yes, sorry. And they're going to talk about the district's efforts with our foster youth and homeless education, and I'll
Good evening, President Connected, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Thank you for this opportunity to speak tonight and highlight some positive things that we're doing with foster youth and homeless. I'm the program coordinator for child welfare and attendance, as Mr. Warren mentioned, and I'm also the foster youth district liaison. And Ms. Kelly Collins holds the district liaison title for homeless or students in transition, as it's also known as. Tonight, we plan on highlighting some key program services that we provide. Really just kind of shed some a little closer.
You may not like the microphone, but you gotta pull it close, so
There we go. All right, we'll bring it in. Thank you. Apologize for that. Really just want to highlight what we do in our district to support foster youth students and homeless students and the services that we provide. We have been able to expand programs in the past few years and really kind of create some departments and some structure. And really all that's thanks to you all for approving some additional funding and some positions, so I'm greatly appreciative of that, and that definitely matriculates down to our students that we support. There's a couple key differences between foster youth and homeless youth, and you can see these two distinct differences in the boxes there. Foster youth is generally a child or youth a court has taken jurisdiction over due to, unfortunately, the presence of risk of abuse or neglect, and the youth violated a certain criminal law, which the court has then determined that they need to go into foster care based off their actions, or the youth is subject to a voluntary placement agreement, which means that the parent has voluntarily kind of given up their student, so a lot of times for rehabilitative purposes. Homeless youth is an individual who lacks fixed, regular, adequate nighttime residence. They are protected what's known as the McKinney-Vento Act. That's a federal act that allows them specific protections and some rights that we'll go over. And foster youth and homeless youth, they share a lot of the same rights. You'll see a lot of similarities between the two groups. Some examples of homeless youth would be shelters, motels, or lack of fixed housing. Shelters, motels, campgrounds, cars, or temporarily doubled up with families due to economic hardship or loss of housing. The legal framework for foster youth, it ensures immediate enrollment. Students don't need any paperwork to enroll. A lot of times the paperwork gets, it's a little bit slower to come to the schools, so some laws have been passed in the last few years to allow immediate enrollment. We also provide transportation as well for students that are in foster youth, whether they're in a care home, so we can get point-to-point transportation. They also get school of origin return rights, so when a student changes placement, they are able to return to the school that they either last attended or the school that they feel connected to within the last 15 months. So those are some of the legal frameworks that we make sure that we're in compliance with. Some challenges with foster youth is high mobility. They do change placements pretty frequently, which can make it challenging to serve that population. Obviously, they've experienced trauma, so there's a lot of emotional strain. They tend to be chronically absent and underperform academically, and then there's always a lack of resources there to support. Again, some services that we provide to this population is transportation, school supplies, emotional support, and academic support. Some success stories that we've had with some foster youth and with the foster youth team is partnering with some local organizations for school supplies, clothing, and we have a community liaison that's been able to support them a little bit more than we've had in the past, and we've had some improved graduation rates as well. The foster youth team has been recognized once each year now by the San Joaquin County Office of Education Foster Youth Department for the good work they do. I can't take all the credit there. That's certainly mostly Sandra Salazar and Christopher Hernando Moretto, which are my two community liaisons that really do the brunt of the work. I'm kind of the captain that steers the ship, and they're the individuals that really do the good work to support these kids. So you can see some of some of their responsibilities are they act as the point of contact between schools and home and foster youth families. They provide support with enrollment and attendance. They provide support for records when students transfer, so students coming to us and students that are leaving us. There is a industry standard of a 2-day turnaround time there, so they are pretty busy with records transfers. And then just connecting families with basic needs and community resources. So that's essentially all of the foster youth piece. I'm going to pass the next portion over to Ms. Kelly Collins.
Great. Good evening, President Knaxton, members of the board, Superintendent Young, and team. Our McKinney-Vento program for students experiencing homelessness is supported by the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act. It provides for legal protections for our students, and many of them shared with our foster youth team here, as far as including immediate enrollment, even if paperwork is still in progress of obtaining, and documents transportation to the school of origin. So a student may come to Lodi Unified from a prior school district, they have the right to for transportation rights to their school of origin, or to come to the school where they are currently residing or temporarily doubled up, which is primarily where most of our students who are experiencing homelessness, that means they're staying with either another family member or with a multi-family, staying together due to an economic hardship. As you can imagine, these families face specific challenges due to the lack of a fixed, regular, and adequate residence. The impacts in Lodi Unified are, you can see those impacts reflected across our California dashboard, which is a slide further in your presentation as a supplemental slide. We don't need to go there quite yet, but just for your reference, you can see these impacts academically in our ELA and mathematics results, the college and career preparedness indicator, chronic absenteeism, and our suspension rates. We truly exist to provide comprehensive support to these students. Our team is there to ensure the connection. There are so many resources in our community, and we exist to connect the dots to provide those additional supplemental supports that these students need to be successful. Next slide. Our team, which I'm super proud to be a part of, I serve as our program coordinator for Area 1 and also the district liaison for students experiencing homelessness. I oversee the McKinney-Vento program for students experiencing homelessness and ensure the compliance with the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act. Our community liaison assistant, Esther Gajalva, she's the first point of contact oftentimes for families, and that collaborative work between school sites, the district office, and our families. With this program, students re-enroll into the program annually. That's a legal requirement. And so those intake forms are oftentimes filled out at the student's school that they're attending, whether they're a new student or a continuing student. She processes those forms, ensures there's transportation as needed, works with our transportation department, works with different departments to ensure that these students are ready to go, and also does some shopping for them. Anything from connecting them to his clothes closet, connecting students, going shopping just to buy some basic school supplies for these students. So we do have some reserve funds in Title I that is allocated for that specific purpose. We also, I'm going to pop over Andy for a second here to speak about our counselors. This year, a new addition to the homeless education program is the allocation of 2 full days of additional counselor support. Now, all of our students, including our students experiencing homelessness, receive the same counseling supports that all of our other students do. But we felt, due to specifically our college and career indicator on the California dashboard, and in looking at our data and working with the San Joaquin County Office of Education Continuous Support and Improvement Department, that we needed to allocate additional counseling support supplemental to provide just some more additional specialized support to those students in helping them navigate college and career readiness, making sure that those barriers are, that we bring down those barriers to students succeeding as they're looking at college and career and beyond. They also assist in personal growth and development and some social emotional learning. Last but definitely not least, and we have her here today, is our teacher on special assignment, Andrea Tates. She goes by Andy. This is Andy's 3rd year serving in the role as a teacher on special assignments for our McKinney-Vento eligible students. During her first 2 years, she specialized in providing academic intervention support at our elementary schools. This year, as a result of our review of data and collaborative discussions, we determined that for the 24-25 school year, Andy would direct her efforts toward our middle and high school students, providing mentoring support, not the same as our counselors, but in addition to. So I always kind of like to go back to that supplemental support. We want to make sure that these students are given additional, because we want to make sure in Lodi Unified the students are given what they need and when they need it, and that's different for each student. This change came out of our collaborative work with the San Joaquin County Office of Education. And while she's embarking on her second quarter, working with middle and high school students, I'm happy to report we're already seeing some pretty positive effects of her work. And at this time, I'd like to invite Andy to share about her work with students this year.
Okay, good evening, President Knackstead, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes to speak about our McKinney-Vento program. I apologize, but I'm going to read from what I wrote because when asked to speak about this program, I tend to go on because I'm so passionate about it. So this will keep me on track. After working with elementary students for the last 2 years, I was nervous to move to junior and high school, but understood the need because of the differentiated technical assistance. I thought I should start with a goal. I decided my goal would be to make sure that all my kiddos knew that they were important, loved, and wanted. Everything else would fall into place, and I would like to share 3 quick examples of how I am working to meet these goals. Number 1. One of my students showed me her art project during our time together. I was truthfully impressed with her work and told her how proud I was with her effort that she had put into it. I told her that there are many ways she can use her creativity, and I believe she could really use this talent in her future. I told her I believed in her and encouraged her to continue with art. Tears started streaming down her face. She wasn't used to being praised and encouraged. She lives in a 1-room hotel room with her mom and 3 siblings. But for those few minutes, she felt important. Number 2, I explained to all my kiddos that I'm going to be annoying and on them about their grades, absences, and tardies. Love means holding people accountable and supporting them in ways to help them be successful. I keep track of their grades weekly, and we talk about the movement that happens both positive and negative. You would think that I would be the most excited when the students move their B's to A's. Those moments are great. But when you have a senior excited to come tell you that their government grade went from an F to a C, that's a reason for celebration. I hope they feel loved. And number 3, finally, a young lady decided to run away for the 3rd time within the first quarter of school. I was able to get her cell phone number from her parents and attempted to call her many times. When she came home and back to school, we spent a long time debriefing what had gone on while she was away. I let her know I was really worried and so grateful that she decided to return home. She knew I had contacted her parents and spent time trying to locate her. As she walked out of my office, she turned around and said, "I can tell that you really care about me," and then walked out the door. I believe that day she knew she was wanted. Thank you for supporting this program. It is making a difference.
Thank you. So Andy, I think she so eloquently kind of sums up the heart of the work that we do. And I do want to just capitalize on the fact that there is so much research out there on the positive effects of one caring adult. And while we know that our students in Lodi Unified have so many caring adults and teachers and support staff and parent volunteers on campus, having that special relationship and connection with an additional caring adult from the homeless education team and our teacher on special assignment and our 2 counselors, Victor Mariano and Alexis Suarez, definitely we believe is making a very positive impact. In conclusion, both our foster youth and homeless education departments are here to support our students and our families, to ensure successful school experiences. We recognize that these students face specific challenges, and our supplemental programs and supports are designed to meet them where they are at to make a lasting and positive impact. Thank you for your time, and we welcome any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. First of all, is there any comments from the public? Student comments? Okay, board?
I have a couple of questions. Number 1, we have foster kids from elementary to 6th, 7th, 8th, and high school. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, can you tell me how many students at each level you have?
I can tell you.
I know you classify homeless and fosters in the same category?
Separately.
Okay,
Yeah,
separate.
separate.
Foster first,
Yeah, for foster, I can tell you the total is around 170 students in our district.
and homeless?
Currently, we have about 133 students, but that number goes up as the year goes on.
Amazing the work that you do to keep these students on track. It's very interesting and very helpful. I'm glad that you are doing this because they need these students, especially the homeless. Oh my gosh, what a terrible life they have. And of course, foster kids are a little bit more with parents or with other people, but it's really a tough situation when you have these youngsters out in the streets like that, and you people gather them and serve them the way you do. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my question too. I had a question about the partnerships. That's kind of exciting. And I was wondering if you could just share, do people actively seek you for partnerships? Are you actively going out for partnerships? If somebody wanted to assist, what would be the process that they would do?
It's a little bit of both. Yeah, we've partnered with His Children's Clothes Closet. She reached out to us. It's an organization, nonprofit. It's a very sweet retired woman who just has a lot of love in her heart and wants to give, and she, her husband owns a business and he provides some space within his business. She collects clothes. We work with her. We actually take some of the lost and found clothes that we would typically donate to, like Goodwill, as an example, and we'll donate those to her. She'll launder them. She separates them by size and gender, and she will actually drive out to the school site and hand deliver items of need, clothing items of need to students. It's pretty amazing.
Ben, can I just ask, is that Ms. DeLemos? Is she the one who does that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is a former Lodi Unified parent. Her husband's with Martech right down the street. And she's done this for a long time out of the goodness of her heart. She just wanted to make a difference. I think her grandkids go to Lodi Unified as well. So there's multi-generations in this community, and she wants to be a part of making a difference.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I actually just have a quick question. When it says under, I think it's slide number 3, when it says examples include under the homeless youth and lack of a fixed, regular, or adequate nighttime residence. It might just be the way it's worded, but it says examples include shelters, motels, campgrounds, cars, or temporary doubled up with families due to economic hardship. What if that becomes a permanent economic hardship? So it scares me that it just says temporary, because as we all know, that could go on for years until somebody's on their feet. So I want to make sure that they don't like grandfather out after you've got 30 days of temporary. How does that work?
Right. Well, Esther Gajalva, which is our community liaison assistant for homeless education, she collects the intake form. So just to give you the process, all students in Lodi Unified, when they complete their online data confirmation, which we want everyone to complete, they complete a housing survey. From that survey, it triggers, hey, some of these students may or may not qualify under the McKinney-Vento Act. And so Esther works with those students and families to complete that intake form. And when they, if they're temporary doubled up another year, she may give a phone call to the family to just confirm that that's not, like a choice. Because some families are permanently doubled up by choice, and that works for them. That's different. That is a permanent, an adequate student has. They even have their own room and have the things that they need to be successful, and this program may not be of a benefit to them in that way. But we do take, when a family is claiming that they are temporarily doubled up year after year due to economic hardship, I mean, we're not in the business of, investigating that to a significant degree, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Any other board comments?
I have a couple questions.
Okay, sure, Mr. Porter.
How many,
Mr. Porter, microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. On foster youth, you have more documentation, I assume. So you have a pretty good accurate record on foster youth.
In regards to?
Like, how they're categorized. You pretty much know what you're getting, where they need to be. So, I'm comparing them to the homeless youth.
Yeah,
How many are homeless are flying under the radar?
Well,
part of why we exist is to help to ensure that there is good messaging out there and good communication of what quantifies being McKinney-Vento eligible. And so that's.
Well, can I want to interrupt.
Yeah, sure.
I do that a lot, I'm rude, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
For people that don't have Wi-Fi, people that don't have computers, how are you getting the message out there?
So that's a great question, and I'm glad that you asked it. Part of the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistant Act is annual training for our school staff. And so all of our principals have received training on how to identify those warning signs that may lead you to believe that there may be a challenge or that the student may not have a fixed, regular, and adequate housing. We provide that training also for our teachers. That training is also provided for our secretaries. That was actually provided in July before school year started because they really are in many ways front lines. Students experiencing homelessness have a difficult time getting to school on time. And so who is the first person they see? That's front office staff because they may not be getting to school on time. And so those our front office staff, it's incredibly important that they know have that information. So teachers also, they can sometimes in their, your students, and students share a lot of things with their teachers. And so those are things that we do is work through that annual education and training for all of the school staff.
I guess my question was related to, these are kids that have enrolled in school. How many haven't?
I'm sorry.
You're talking about kids that have enrolled in school and identifying them. I'm talking about the high school level product, middle school, high school. How many kids just aren't enrolled, that are just floating? Do we have an idea of that in this town?
That are enrolled but not necessarily
No, I
identified.
mean, you're aware of the kids that are enrolled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have the identifiers for that. How many kids are not enrolled? Do we have an idea based on other cities and so forth that are floating, that just don't have the opportunity to be enrolled, that we are not aware of? I'm sure it's not that much, but I mean.
I don't think we have numbers, but we have made contact with like Inner City Action, the homeless shelter.
I go to the shelters.
And so we made contact with them and they have our phone number. And so there have been several occasions where they've reached out to us and said, hey, we have a family here with 2 young kids. So then we connect them to the school and we actually help them, like, this is where you should go, this is what you do, and this is what you say. We call the school ahead of time and say, please be aware these people are coming in. So we try to bridge that to make it as easy as possible, and that has happened on several occasions.
Yeah, your homeless number for me was an eye-opener. I didn't know we had that many students. Ms. Tates, in your role, you work with middle school now and high school. How do you supplement their classroom work, and then how do you deal with attendance? Because I know when I've had homeless students, attendance was a big issue.
It is a big issue. First question, how do I supplement their academic?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to stigmatize them, obviously. So where do you go to deal with them? Because obviously they don't want people to know they're homeless. Of course.
I am in a different place at every school. Sometimes it's in a conference room, sometimes it's in a classroom if they have space. So I have my own area SRO office if the officer isn't there that day. And each school does it differently, but a student either gets pulled out by a TA that goes into the classroom or a phone call into the classroom asking for the student to come out. The tricky part is I go weekly, and so I'm trying to pull them out of different classes, so I'm not pulling them out of the same class every week, but I'm also trying to not pull them out of core classes that they're doing poorly in. But they don't, as far as I know, they don't know they're being pulled out because they're homeless. When I introduce myself, I just say that I'm a teacher that goes to all the middle and high schools and I help support kids and I'm here to check in with you on a weekly basis. And they just, okay. And that's the conversation that we have.
Not stupid.
I'm sure they're not, but it so far hasn't been an issue.
What kind of success have you had? Well, you've only been in 1 quarter.
It's been 1 quarter, so I can't give you a measure academically. I know that I keep a document on Google Docs of each student, and so I have their weekly grades. And so that's how I keep track of last week. You had a C in chemistry and now you have a B minus. So all I can tell you is the success of what I know I have provided for them, academically, emotionally, and provided the resources that they have shared with me that they need. You know, at the end of each time I say, is there anything that I can help you with? And sometimes they'll, no, and then they'll think, and I'll say, seems like you have something. And one girl was like, well, a toothbrush and toothpaste?
Yeah.
Oh, let me go out to the car. I have hygiene. I mean, absolutely. And so those are the basic needs that they're asking for. You asked about absences. So I will contact home. We will make a goal. I email teachers on a weekly basis saying, hey, this is the goal. This is, they were tardy because they are working at night. Is there any leeway? Can you just make them feel welcome instead of, being upset with them? I contact teachers and home, and we also set a goal with the students.
And what's your workload like? How many students do you have?
I'm currently seeing 45 students each week.
Wow, okay, thank you. It's very righteous work that all of you are doing, and I applaud you.
Thank you, and I would love if eventually we could have another one of me for elementary too.
Well, that would be up to Mr. Young.
I have a comment on it.
Duly noted.
Well,
Just a comment. This on. Maybe it was just the classes I had, but always had seemed like quite a few homeless and foster kids when I was at high school, and a lot of them were second language. But I appreciate the work you do because I saw the emotional baggage they had, and plus, even if they were most of them were emotionally stable, but just the extra hurdles they had in their lives, like having to live with relatives or having to get shoes to be on a running team, having to get clean clothes, a nice jacket, so not be embarrassed by wearing an old one, because a lot of them wouldn't wear a jacket in wintertime until they got mine. So anyway, I just wanted to applaud your work and keep it up.
Dr. Ball?
Thank you, Mr. Connexted. Thank you, first of all, for everything you're doing. From your past experience in the last few years, has this graduation success rate improved in these children?
It has for foster youth, but it's a rather, 170 students is a very large, it seems large in number, but it's really not. So to change a percent here or there, we've had a couple more kids. We increased by a few percent, and that was a success for us.
Sure, but is it kind of a steady rate that you see?
They typically don't perform very well academically.
Okay. And then you are doing a lot already. Are there additional resources that you require to keep doing what you are doing, other than an additional person that you're looking for?
Thanks, Andy.
Yep. While I'm here.
Just looking for.
Oh, additional resources? You just give me some time to think about. I mean,
I would be open to getting an email. I'm sure everybody on the board would like to know how more can we help, or what can, anybody who's listening might have something to say or do or give.
Okay, thank you.
I can provide that as part of just an update to the board and give you that information so you're aware.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you for what you do on a daily basis. Thank you for being here. And I would like to invite you to come back at the end of the school year and give us an update. And at that point, exactly what kind of resources you might really need. So, thank you. Moving board advisory reports. You have one? Oh, okay. Okay, final comments from the board. Mr. Novick.
Yeah, I have a comment here on, for Mr. Young. I mentioned that this elementary school gate teacher is pulled out for a SIPS class. Can you check on that, please?
Certainly can. Dr. Horton and Lisa Wilkins can have a conversation and follow up. Certainly.
Any other comments? Dr.
Just
Ball?
a quick one. I had the opportunity to go to a Podesta Ranch Elementary School with Ms. Miller,
for our GATE program. They had a wonderful evening. It was only an hour. I think the kids would have loved to have longer, and I think we should open it up to all kids. It was a board game night. They had board games on the table set up, and parents, kids, teachers, there were a few. It was a very cute little gathering, but I think if we open it up to all our kids in the district, it's a great opportunity for them.
Any other comments?
I mean, we adjourn, sir.
I have one quick comment.
Sorry.
We've got a motion, but that's okay.
Just because it's happened more than a few times, and I don't know, it's because my email is J-E instead of J-stroke, but I keep hearing people are going to invite me to a school or to another thing, and I never get the invites to see when it is, because I just hear, oh yeah, we're going to do this a date real quick at a meeting, but then I never have a follow-up email. I shouldn't say never, but it's happened more than a few times. So if anybody's email me, just be careful, it's J-E-stro and not J-stro, and there was a big thing about changing it, and I've had it for, 20 years or whenever we first got emails. But occasionally, people come up, why didn't you respond, or why didn't you get back to me? It's like, I never saw it, so, but it happened a couple months ago, fairly recently. So just, I want people aware, but if you actually click on my name, it works, but if you actually try to do it the other way, it doesn't. And there's nothing that says it doesn't get to me, so.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Please, before you do, I just want to make sure to point out that in the beginning, we said Mr. Porter was not present for closed session, but just for the minutes, I want to point out that he was in fact present for closed session, just so we have
Just a
that.
little bit late.
I didn't state that.
I believe I was,
You greeted us at the door, which we appreciated. I didn't state anything other than I just wanted for the minutes to make sure it was not 6 present, 1 absent. It's 7 present in closed session.
Well, I'm ready for, we got first and second.
let's get on.
All in favor? All right, the rest? Done.
Trying to do my job.